But yeah, I guess now I can kind of talk about the story a little bit. Because for the most part, I think it's done. I'm just gonna go around here and try to grab these synchronization points, because why not? But yeah, I like the way things are going now. I don't know if it's like ended completely or or if there's gonna be more, but I'm glad that Sigurd kind of like calmed down and became more humble. So like he does seem a little bit disappointed and sad, but he's also kind of accepted that. But he's not like, I don't know. He's different than he used to be. He's definitely different. But I'm glad he's not being a complete asshole anymore, because he was being kind of a dick. So yeah, I'm glad that Sigurd has calmed down a lot. The whole story with Basim and Javi and stuff, not Basim and Javi, Loki and Javi, that was interesting. Like, I'm glad I played through the Asgard arc before I went into the endgame section there, because, you know, when we fought Loki, he did say that, you know, this fight was never going to end. It's going to keep going forever and ever. And, you know, it seems like it has, because if you think about it, Eivor is basically Odin, or has the spirit of Odin, or maybe is Odin reincarnated or something. I don't know. And then Basim is basically Loki, where he's being controlled by Loki or something like that. I don't know. But it's interesting to think about, and Loki was kind of right. And you know, maybe Odin and Loki aren't really real. You know, maybe they're just symbols. Kind of. Where's this point? Oh, it's all the way over there. God damn it. I thought it was on top of the freaking... Oh well. But yeah, it's just... It's interesting. It's very interesting to see that there is pretty much an eternal battle going on between Javi and Loki, or Odin and Loki, whatever. So yeah. And then Basim said something about Alethea, like he was talking with Alethea or something. I don't know who that is. I really don't. So now it's like, who the hell is that? He just added another character, and it's like, great. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. But yeah, I guess we're gonna see. And I guess Layla is pretty much gone for the rest of the game. If there is any more of the game, there has to be. They wouldn't just end the game without rolling credits or anything. So we're probably gonna have to do this, you know, this one last arc or something before we can actually complete the game. And then maybe we'll get an ending. But yeah, I don't know. Can I just climb on this? Thank you. Alright, just making sure I'm not gonna jump off the edge. Let's see. So yeah, I'm interested to see what happens with Basim and stuff. apparently he's gonna be the character in the like real world for the rest of the game, possibly. He does want to meet with William Miles, and I'm not sure who that's supposed to be. I don't really know. And I'm like trying to remember, did Desmond Miles have a son, or is it his dad? Or maybe he has a brother? I don't know. You know, it was probably revealed like in the old Assassin's Creed games, but I just don't remember. Also, I feel something tickling my nose. I have no idea where this artifact is. Looks like it's down here, maybe? I mean, it seems like we get a pretty good amount of XP for finding these types of things. So maybe it won't be as... Oh, that... I didn't realize that was the artifact. So maybe that'll help us level up quite a bit. Yeah, 180, not really. Okay. But you know, there's a bunch of stuff on the map, so it might help. How should I do this? So, anyway. Don't know. I'm trying to think of like what I want to talk about, because there's so much stuff to talk about, but you know, maybe it would be a good idea to just do the open world stuff and just kind of talk about my thoughts on the game and stuff. But I still enjoy this game a lot. Like, the story is kind of weird, but at the end it does make kind of a lot of sense. I mean, the part that doesn't make sense is why Sigurd kind of just got, like, brainwashed. But, you know, he was tortured for a while by Folke. He was hanging out with Bassam. Like, when he made his grand return to Norway back at the beginning of the game, he appeared with Bassam and the other guy, whose name I can't remember. Hytham, I think his name was. He did come back, and he was all like, you know, buddy-buddy with Bassam. But Bassam seems kind of sketchy, you know. He's always being a little bit more secretive about things. And yeah, after he returned, Sigurd did seem kind of like different. Well, actually I don't know what he was like before, but you know, he did come back wanting power. He was upset that his father gave away the kingdom. And you know, then he started listening to Bassam. I think Bassam is how he met Folke, maybe? And I don't know. It's just like, it seems like Bassam had a lot of influence on Sigurd and tried to lead him towards the path of like needing power, needing to be the best, or something like that. So he always seemed kind of sketchy. And none of the other characters really had that much character development. It seems like Ranvi had a pretty decent amount, but it wasn't too much. Oh, I gotta make offerings here. Okay. Let's go back up here. Yeah, I'm kind of all over the place. I don't have like a set idea of how I want to explain things. But I don't know, for most of the game I was really pissed off at Sigurd because, you know, he kept accusing us of being, you know, power hungry. Like the only reason we were doing stuff is so that we could become Jarl ourselves. And we wanted to take over, we didn't actually care about Sigurd. But I'm glad that at the end he finally realized that, hey, he was just filling in, or Eivor was just filling in for Sigurd. Sigurd finally realized that. My pronouns are getting mixed up. You know, she was doing what Sigurd wanted. You know, she had to take charge because Sigurd was never around, and he finally realized that. Basically it. That's basically all I wanted to say. Yeah, I'm supposed to mark this thing. So, I'm glad he finally realized that. And I'm glad the people of Ravensthorpe didn't get upset that we came back and we became the Jarl. Or Jarl Skona. I don't know if there's like a difference between the two. But like, I don't know if they're interchangeable. But Randvi called us Jarl Skona, I think. So I'm just gonna go with that. Yeah, and it seems like those decisions he was talking about did have an impact on the end of the game. You know, especially the one with Dag, where we let him die with honor. So I guess it does pay to be nice. There were probably some more decisions that I could have made that would have made it into that cutscene, but there were some decisions that I know weren't the right ones. Like the one where I didn't back up Sigurd when he was trying to oversee that court case thing with the... what was it? I don't remember, the sales or something? The guy was trying to make art and the lady was pissed off at him. You know, that thing. I told Sigurd that he was being basically unreasonable. And I think that one you're supposed to just back him up anyway, even though he's being kind of ridiculous. So, I didn't do that, but I imagine it would probably appear in the story if you do back him up there. But I still think we got a pretty decent ending there. Or at least for now. So, that's good.
Yes, fine. I'll finish you.
Alright. I really wish I could just assassinate both of them. Oops. Oh, he was still alive. Alright, it worked.
For favor you, my friend.
But anyway, yeah, things are going pretty decently for now. I don't know how it's going to change in the future. Because, like I said, I don't think we're completely done with...
Can you see him down there? Hey, you! Can you swim? Our father's down there, looking for treasure.
He dove way down deep, but I can't see him anymore.
Uh-oh, that doesn't sound good. Yeah, we're probably done with, we're probably not done, I should say, with the story. Like, I imagine we're not. Yeah, he was down here for too long. Alright. Well, got bad news. But anyway, the story is definitely interesting.
That lake goes deep.
Did you at least find the treasure?
Wow. I can keep it for myself. I'm not gonna do that.
Yes. Take this bracelet your father sought. By rights, it's yours.
Thank you, brave traveler. We knew you would find it.
And what about the father? Did you find him?
Oh boy. Tell the truth? Sure.
This lake must serve as your father's grave now, but with this last gift, his memory survives.
You mean he drowned?
Where's the rest of your family?
Mother got sick and never got better. And now she is under the ground. There is no one else.
Rilda, remember? Father, sister, and Jorvik.
Sell that trinket for food. Then travel to Yond. Your father would wish that.
Alright, that didn't... I mean, that was bad, but it could have been worse. Alright.
This world is hard, and the gods care not.
Yeah, so anyway, story for this game is very, very interesting. At least to me it is. Like, I was getting kind of annoyed with the whole, like, trying to make alliances with all the kings in this place. Oh, shit. I was getting kind of annoyed with it, especially because it made people think, oh, you're just doing this to, you know, boost your own ego. Try to... making people think that I'm better than them or something. No, people weren't appreciating me enough. That's basically it. But, you know, once we started getting into the Norse mythology part of the game, and then, you know, especially the end of the game here where the story starts, you know, going into that Norse mythology. Like the Norse mythology sections with Havi, you know, the visions sections, those were pretty cool. And then the part at the end of the game here where, you know, Sigurd and Eivor start, you know, approaching Valhalla and all that stuff. It was, I don't know, it's interesting how they tied it together, I guess. And then I don't know if Odin's supposed to be like a bad guy or not. It seems like he is. It seems like he became a bad guy towards the end. So... I don't know. I'm surprised they kind of started painting him in a negative light. Sort of like what they do in God of War. But... yeah, it was pretty cool. So anyway... the story is definitely very interesting, especially if you're into Norse mythology. I don't know how accurate this stuff is, like, historically. Like, I don't know what the relationship between, like, Vikings and the English were. I don't know if this kind of stuff happened back then, because I don't know too much about that part of history, but it was okay. It was kind of repetitive, because, you know, you basically go into these places, overthrow a king there, and then put somebody else in power so that you can have an ally. And that was basically the entire game. That was pretty much it. It got kind of old after a while, but at least all the storylines were different enough so that it didn't feel like repetitive to the point where it got super boring. Like, I'm glad everything had their own story, and the storylines were just different, so that's good. But Other than that, I think overall the story has been pretty good so far. We'll see what happens in the next arcs that we do. And hopefully we'll get to those soon. I just need to level up a little bit. But yeah, if you're into Norse mythology at all, like, this game is pretty damn interesting. Especially the vision quests and all that stuff. And if you're into history too, I mean, I'm into history, so I like learning about stuff. I mean, this is kind of inspiring me to go look up, you know, what happened in England back in the 9th century or whatever. See if what happened back then is similar to what they do here. Because they try to be a little bit accurate with history, but they do change things, you know, to fit a story. Yeah, it's not 100% accurate. You shouldn't use this to, like, study for a test or anything. That would be a bad idea. But, you know, it's just something that will, like, inspire you to start learning about history. Or at least that's how it is for me.
Anything that any man has ever witnessed. I am that festers.
Why can't I? Really, the horse is freaking blocking me? Now I can't get on the horse. Great.
So Drengr, now a Drengr,
All right.
walking dead, rotten.
Greetings. Is this battlefield yours?
This is the gutter of an unchained Drengr. A lost Drengr. That is what I am. I am vile. I should not be allowed to suckle clean air.
A Drengr kills honorably, with glory and pride. Were these men not innocent?
Many of them were. Many were not. Their blood is now mingled, and it stinks of the iron of my blades. What an end! Beloved Ragnar Lothbrok. He always kept me in check. He steadied the ship of my Hugr. Without him, I have lost my bearings. I scare myself. Not a thread of decency remains. The Drengr I was, I have lost him. Would you end this suffering for me?
You live with a great pain, one that cannot be eased by a Vergilt, nor a reckoning.
Yes, you know my pain. And you look as though you could end it. Do this then. A final kindness for an unworthy wretch.
Lord Drengr, I will fight you, and help you find what Ragnar gave you.
Loki's children, take me one and all!
This one arm has learned the tricks of both! Beware!
Why do they have to, like, start the battle, like, immediately to the point where I can't really dodge that well? Oh man, look at these parries. Oh, you got that? I got that too. Alright, this battle's gonna take a little bit.
Going to smash you!
Alright, I think he's done. I hope I didn't just glitch him out. I think I did. He's stuck. Fucking hell. Can I just talk to you? God damn it. I can't talk to him because he's stuck on the freaking thing. Alright, let me reload. Hopefully this works. If not, I might just have to... Might have to fight him again. Nope. Okay, I'm gonna fight him again. Yeah, that sucks. One of the problems with this game is it is kind of glitchy. I will say that. There's a lot of glitchy moments that I've experienced, a lot of bugs. Not the best. But, you know, it's not like super game breaking or anything. At least the save system is pretty good. So if you do run into a problem, you just end up...
Lost.
One arm has learned the tricks of both. Beware.
I'm gonna do this. Oh! I ran out of stamina, or adrenaline. Yeah, the save system is pretty good, just because, you know, if you do run into a bad glitch, you can just reload and not lose that much progress, so... At least that's the thing. Ow! Did I just cancel that out by doing that? Unbelievable. Does he have weak spots? He does. Ouch. Wrong button. Alright, I think we're done. Alright, can I talk to you now?
Nakvila, the fetid boy. Let this death be the only good I have done since my master's death.
Odin welcomes all kinds, so long as they war louder and drink faster than the last man.
Oh, please let me confirm. There we go. Alright. Unfortunately, I kicked him onto the freaking building over here earlier, so that sucks. Yeah, like I said, a lot of glitches in this game, so it can be kind of annoying, but at least the game saves pretty often, so if you do happen to run into a bad glitch, you can just reload and not lose a whole lot of progress. Keep the signal beacons lit, not just for our men, but for anyone who ventures beyond the wall. And those who may come to trade, Pick, Saxon, or Dane, it is all of us against the winter's cold. Rolf the Watcher. Yeah, so anyway, that's another thing I wanted to talk about, is like just the side quests they have in this game. You know, like the mysteries, these Drengrs here. I like that each one of those, it's not super repetitive, you know? The stories are kind of unique for each thing. I mean, the only repetitive thing in this game is pretty much the raiding and, you know, collecting chests, kind of. But other than that, everything feels pretty unique, and you know, everything's different enough to where it doesn't take, or it doesn't really get old real quick. It takes a while for something to get annoying. But, you know, that is one of the things about this game. They do a pretty good job of making everything feel unique. I just, I don't know. Ooh, I can upgrade this or my shield. Let's upgrade the shield. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff to do in this game. And it, like I said, it doesn't get too repetitive. I mean, there are some things that can be a little bit repetitive, but, you know, I think they've done a pretty good job of making sure everything feels unique. And it's like, normally with a game like this, I would get bored after like 20 hours. How far am I? Let me save just to see. We're like 93 hours, right? 95 hours, holy crap. So we're 95 hours into the game and I'm still having quite a bit of fun. And, you know, that's just because the combat's pretty good. Like I said, the side quests don't feel too repetitive. Same thing with the story. And, yeah, so if you're interested in this game even a little bit, if you're interested in Norse mythology, if you're interested in like English history type stuff, if you're interested in Vikings, I would highly recommend this game. And if you like Assassin's Creed, you know, this game feels like Assassin's Creed, but with a little bit more aggressiveness, I guess. If you played the old Assassin's Creed games and were like, it's a little too slow, it's a little too much stealth, you'll probably really like this game because while there's still stealth, they did do a better job of making the game more fast-paced. It's a little more better suited for aggressive play, especially because you're a Viking. You know, Vikings tend to like to run into battle and just beat everything up, and that's what this game does. So I would highly recommend playing this game. Like, even if I don't know, if you can only afford like 1 or 2 games a year, I would highly recommend just getting this game because you saw I have 95 hours in this game, and if we look at the map, look at all this shit I still have to do. Like, there's so much stuff. Like, there's so much more gear I can collect, there's a bunch of mysteries I can still do. There's still more story left, I think. Like, this section over here, I'm pretty sure that's probably where the story is gonna end at some point. But it's like there's so much stuff to do, and you're definitely gonna get your time, your money's worth out of this game. Like, I'm almost 100 hours into the game, and that's less than $1 an hour. I mean, we're approaching the 50 cents per hour mark, if you want to look at it that way. I mean, you get a lot of time out of this game. It's so much better than a lot of the other games that are out there right now. And especially like Call of Duty. I keep bringing up Call of Duty, but you know, Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed kind of had that thing going where they were releasing a new one every single year. Assassin's Creed learned that, hey, maybe we should not do that. And once they stopped doing that, their games got a lot better. Call of Duty has been going for a while, and their games just keep getting worse and worse and worse. So I guarantee you're going to have a lot more fun with this game because at least, you know, you're earning stuff. You know, you're earning new weapons, you're earning new abilities, you're earning the ability to upgrade your weapons and stuff. And then, you know, you actually have something that you're working towards, the end of the game. You're working towards finishing up the story. When you play Call of Duty, it's like, what's the point? Because in that game with the skill-based matchmaking, everything is pretty much predetermined anyway, so you're kind of just sitting there shooting stuff like a mindless zombie for probably not even an hour at a time. It's just, I think this game is a lot more fun than Call of Duty is nowadays, and really most multiplayer games nowadays. Unless you're into that competitive stuff, but that's not me. But anyway, Assassin's Creed is definitely worth the 60 or 70 bucks. And we are on PS5, so the game looks really good. On PS4, the game didn't look as good as this, but it still looked pretty decent. I was kind of surprised. But definitely on PS5, it looks really good. Runs at 60 FPS. And then there's a lot of different weapons you can use. You can use hammers, daggers, swords, axes, shields. bows. There's just so much you can do. You can play the game aggressively, you can play the game stealthy. There's just so much stuff you can do in this game, and you know, I wouldn't mind like playing through this game again. Not for YouTube, but you know, maybe on stream or maybe on my own, where I kind of go through the story and maybe go through with like a different persona or a different character mindset, where instead of trying to be a nice guy, I try to be like a really tough Viking or something. You know, we don't take crap from anybody. We're a hard ass type person. Like, I wouldn't mind going through the game again with that and see how the story changes. But yeah, I don't know. This game is just like, it's really good. I like it a lot. And you know, the fact that I've put 95 hours into this game and I still enjoy it says a lot. So that's my recommendation. Just get the game. It's got a good story. It's got an interesting setting. It's got good gameplay. And it runs pretty well. The only problem is there can be glitches, but most of the time they're kind of funny anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And you can always just reload a save. And the game saves like every couple minutes, it seems like, so you don't really lose a whole lot of progress if you have to do that. But anyway, my recommendation is just buy this game. It's pretty good. It's really enjoyable, and you'll get a lot of time out of it. So I'm gonna stop rambling here. I think that's enough. So I am going to try to do some side stuff here for the foreseeable future. I guess we can kind of consider this like the ending a little bit, but we still have more to do, I think. So it's not like a true ending. But I'm gonna make a few videos, probably just maybe doing mysteries, maybe doing some raiding and fighting, you know, zealots and members of the order. I'll probably make videos on that. But trying to collect like all this wealth and stuff, I'm probably just gonna do that on my own. I don't think it would be that interesting to watch. So yeah, hopefully I'll get to level 340 eventually, and then we can hopefully finish up the main story. Or at least finish up this part and see if that leads us to the end of the game. And then I think in a couple weeks they have a new DLC coming out. So I'll probably play that as well, but I don't know. But anyway, I think that's going to be it for today. I've been recording for like almost 3 hours. We got a pretty good amount of the game completed. Like I said, I don't think we're completely done with the game, but I do have to level up a bit. What level did I get to? 287. Not that great. Yeah. So, anyway, that's going to be it for today. Apologize for rambling so much at the end there. And just rambling in general, like, that's a problem I have. But you know, hopefully, maybe I helped you make a decision on like whether or not you should buy this game, and I definitely think you should, because it's pretty good. So, anyway, I think that'll be it for today. Like I said, when we come back next time, we will probably do some side stuff, see how that goes, and then maybe I'll do some of the grinding off stream so that you don't have to sit here and like watch a bunch more videos of me just running around and collecting stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what kind of stuff I want to keep in. Definitely like combat based stuff I'll probably keep in. But collecting wealth or even these pieces of gear, I might not keep that in. I don't know, I'll figure it out. But yeah, for the most part, I think most of the story has been completed, but we still have to see what happens with that one last place we have in England, and then we'll see if anything else happens we'll see if anything else happens outside the Animus with Bassam and the other people. So, we'll see. But that's gonna be it for today. So, I guess I'll take the time here to say, if you have watched this far into the playthrough, or if you watched any part of the playthrough, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. So yeah. Anyway, that is going to be it for today. So again, thank you for watching, and hopefully I will talk to you all later.